all know comparing ourselves to someone else and what they're doing is like the quickest way to make ourselves feel unworthy and to feel like shit. For some reason, it feels as though humans have this innate ability to constantly compare misfortunes and fortunes to someone else's. Speaking to comparisons in the sport of running a little bit more specifically, it's really easy to compare yourself and your training to another runner's. I personally think it has a lot to do with the sport of running being so objective and numbers oriented. So I already have an entire video talking about comparisons within the sport of running. I think it's incredibly important to talk about, and it's really important to address in order to be our happiest and our healthiest selves in the sport of running and out. But I wanted to make this separate video to talk about the #1 comparison, in my opinion, that isn't really talked about enough and is probably, for me at least, the most damaging on my self-esteem and my overall well-being. This comparison is to yourself. So I'm going to keep this pretty running specific, but I obviously think it can be applied to other areas in your life and to life just in general. Comparing yourself to the runner that you used to be and comparing your training to the training that you once did back in the day can be really detrimental to your confidence, to your faith, to your running, to your training. It just really takes away any joy from the present moment, and it takes away any love and passion and motivation that you feel right now for the sport and for your goals. That being said, there are some things that I really strongly encourage you to consider next time you catch yourself comparing your runs and your training and the runner you are now to all the training and the runs that you've done at some point in the past. The #1 thing to consider is life circumstances. Whether you are comparing yourself to the runner you were a year ago or 5 years ago, you have to consider how your life has also changed. Like starting a new semester in college and getting used to your course load, or changing dorm rooms. This could also be really big life changes, like moving across country by yourself, starting a new job, starting medical school, or starting graveyard shifts for the first time ever. You want to ask yourself how these new life circumstances has impacted your overall well-being. So asking yourself questions like, are you sleeping enough? What is the quality of your sleep like? Are you eating enough? And do you have enough physical and mental energy to train the way you want to? These are all serious things could have an impact on your running and your running performance. Now, say you're comparing a workout that you did yesterday to the exact same workout that you did a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, or a couple years ago. You need to consider smaller things as well from a day-to-day basis. So say your workout didn't go as well. You need to consider the weather, how you slept the night before, what you ate the night before, what you ate for breakfast, and any little minute details that could have effect on your workout times and your workout paces. And going with that, it is really important not to hyper focus on one workout or one long run in your entirety of the training cycle. So many different things can go into how you're feeling on a given day. That's why it's so hard to really compare times from a workout today from times in a workout back in college or back when you did it last. You should also consider any setbacks that you might have had that can hinder your training in the short term. Have you been sick? Do you have low iron levels? Have you been injured? I'm telling you, you literally need to take everything into consideration. It is also so important to remember that running is not, nor will ever be, linear. You're going to hit plateaus, you are going to hit setbacks, you're going to hit periods of times when it really feels like you're not getting any faster. It is the accumulation of all of the training, all of the mileage, all the runs you are doing that ends up paying off in the long term. Sure, there are workouts and certain types of runs that you should be doing that are going to help you improve, but if you're feeling frustrated and you're feeling like you're taking steps back or you aren't improving, just keep showing up, because I promise you it does pay off in the long term. It is literally a waste of your energy, and remember, your energy is precious and your time is precious. It is a waste of your energy and your time to look backwards on the runner that you used to be. We're only going forwards, we're not going backward in time, so keep looking forward and keep marching ahead. So say you aren't running as fast as you used to, you aren't improving, it's been a few years, just know that that also just comes with life, and life changes and bodily changes and aging. That's just a part of your running journey, and everyone's timeline is completely different. And just remember that and allow yourself so much grace as you go through this life, and be thankful to be able to run no matter what those numbers look like. I do think it is really important though to acknowledge the runner runner you once were and appreciate it for what it was and what it was serving then. I often think back to my sophomore year, my first cross country season, pretty much ever. I was running some pretty fast times. I was PRing like every single meet and really improving and progressing. Unfortunately, I never really saw any of those paces again in track or in following years during cross country, and I never really saw any of those times during my entire college career, and that felt really shitty when I would remind myself of that. But then one day I came to a realization that the way I ran that sophomore season in cross country was pretty fucking awesome. No expectations, I ran with passion, and I just went for it and tested my limits every single time I stepped on that starting line. Being able to admire the runs that you once did, the times you once hit, and the paces you were able to run, instead of kind of look at them with jealousy, is a really awesome way to accept where you were as a runner at one point and accept where you are now as a runner. Does that make sense? Like, it's that acceptance that allows me to look back on my past runner and be like, damn, she was awesome, but then also not feel any shame for the runner that I am right now. I also think it's really important to think about how you have improved as a runner and as an athlete without thinking about any of the times. There is so much more to the sport of running than paces and times. Think about all of the opportunities that running has brought you, the people you've met, the places you've gone, being able to explore this beautiful planet on foot within nature. Like, there's nothing better. I'm a healthier runner than I was before. Although I admire the runner I once was, I just feel a lot healthier in my mind and in my body and with my training right now. Your relationship with running, it changes and evolves. It grows with you throughout life. And how awesome with that running is so absolutely fluid. Like, even through times when you haven't been able to run, running has still been there. You're still a runner even during those times when you can't run. And then you get back at it and you're running again. You move and running's still with you. You can't train intensely, yet you're still running and running is still with you. You decide to focus on the OTQ or running your first marathon. Running is with you. It grows, it flows, and it's with you and your life at all times when you want it to be. Just a reminder to really zoom out on the sport and to appreciate running for what it is and all the things it does to serve you. You are not the runner you once were. You are not the person you once were. That is life. We are only moving forward. So like I said before, do not waste any precious moment of your emotions and your energy to dwell on the runner you once were. Be happy that that runner existed, because now you are the runner and the person that you are here in this moment. So focus on that and focus on going forward and how you can be here where your feet are. Before I end this video, I do want to acknowledge that I understand that there is a healthy comparison that comes with progress and improvement when looking at old running times to new running times. That's exactly why we go after PRs. That's why we chase goals, course records in general. That's a big reason why a lot of us run, including myself. But it's important to make sure that that comparison is coming out of a place of love and passion and longing to become better as a runner, as a person, and as an athlete. You ran that workout faster than last year? Fuck yeah. You're running your highest mileage ever without getting injured? Fuck yeah. Use those constant improvements and progressions as confidence boosters and feel good about them because you deserve it. But while you're doing that, remember to think about the big picture of running, and remember that PRs is not the only form of happiness in the sport. Remember, self-worth does not come from your PR or from your weekly mileage or how fast you can run your recovery run. You want to keep this in mind, because worst case scenario, when you aren't improving or you have a bad race or you have a bad workout and you aren't experiencing improvement, you're not using that and hindering your self-acceptance and your self-love and your self-appreciation for you as a runner. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but keep going, keep living in this present moment. Appreciate and love the runner and the person that you once were, and appreciate how that has led to the person and the runner that you are right now. Don't be envious, don't have any jealousy towards that runner and the running times that you used to do. Focus on this present moment and this present training and your current goals. And honestly, just keep loving the sport and keep loving yourself. Do not let go of that passion, and just focusing on the moment right here, right now is going to allow you to do that. When you run organically out of a place of passion and gratitude, I promise you good things will come. If you have any other ways or methods that help you when you catch yourself comparing yourself to someone you used to be in the past, definitely let me know in the comments below. And thanks again for watching. I would love for you to click that like button and subscribe to to my channel. I'll see you in my next video, but until then, as always, happy running.